What if I do this? What's up? Hey, it's Holden, Run Pure Sports, runpuresports.com. You can check my stuff out on Run Pure Bets too. I hang out in a live show, do some stuff with JJ, but right here for my running back early week preview. It's an interesting week at running back too, because CMC is done for a few weeks. Barkley is done for the year. Raheem Mostert, the Tyreek Hill of running backs, he's gone this week. It really sucks. I mean, all these injuries just pummeling things. And then, you add to that, Clyde Edwards-Helaire is not on this slate. None of the Ravens running backs are on this slate. Not that that should really make that big of a difference. There's no Aaron Jones on this slate. And then Alvin Kamara, he's gone too. So all these other teams playing different nights. So let's just get to what we have. My personal opinion is that as we go on during the week, I am going to start gravitating to guys like Jonathan Taylor and Miles Sanders and probably fade the top end of this. But let's get into this. And I'm talking about cash. Ezekiel Elliott, he's 8-3 on DraftKings, 9K on FanDuel. He's a stud, right? 27 and 23 DK points. He's getting the volume. What I really liked last week was that he had 6 catches on 7 targets. But could we expect the Cowboys to be playing from behind like this week again against Seattle? I guess it's possible. I like him to find the touchdown. I mean, if you're on a bet side and you want to go anytime touchdown, I doubt the odds are good enough, though, to go there. He's probably minus big-time money. And listen, he's a bell cow. Seattle, the one thing they're doing right now is playing well against the run. I can see myself with Zeke in my cash lineup. I just right now look at better options. Derrick Henry against Minnesota. Listen, Anthony Barr is out. The Minnesota defense allowed 876 yards in their first 2 games. Let me just repeat this. The Minnesota defense gave up 876 yards in their first 2 games. But this is really a volume-based play because Derrick Henry has not been a guy to produce early in the season. We're seeing it again right now. No catches on 2 targets in his last start, hoping we'd see more in the passing game. 25 carries, 84 yards. He's GPP, fine if you want to play him in a tournament. I'm not playing him in cash. Dalvin Cook against Tennessee. He played 83% of the snaps. That's great. I mean, he played a ton in this game. By the way, Henry is 7-8 on DK. Cook is 7-6 on DK. On FanDuel, Henry gets a little decrease there, 8.2, and then Cook is up to 8.6. So if you're thinking about that, Minnesota playing from behind, their offense is a total mess, just a complete mess. Only 4 targets and 3 catches so far for Dalvin Cook through 2 games, and he's healthy. I just don't get it. He's averaging only 13 carries. Maybe they say, hey, this week we're going to Dalvin Cook, but again, there's too much question marks there, too many question marks. Probably a GPP play. And Josh Jacobs, take a look at his hamstring. He's another volume guy, though, and he's going up against New England. I don't like this matchup. 8-3 FanDuel, 7.3 DK, touchdown dependent. Yeah, if anything, I would play him on FanDuel in tournaments, but he's not on my list. Then we get to Jonathan Taylor. Okay, so you had the coaching staff with the Colts say that they would like to get Nyheim Hines more interested in the involved in the offense, but Jonathan Taylor was just playing too well. Well, that's good for Jonathan Taylor, right? And my goodness, the discount on DK or the discount on FanDuel really makes me, my ears are perking up. Now, he was at 57 last week. He's 7,000 on FanDuel, but you're getting a bell cow, at least from week 1. I kind of feel like it's going to happen again. Jonathan Taylor is at 7K. He's taking on the Jets. I mean, he had 18 carries in the first half on Sunday. He was magnificent. 26 carries, 101 yards, and a touchdown. Just 2 targets, though. He caught both of them. That's a little concerning there. I really like him on FanDuel a lot. I like him on DraftKings, too. Jets are allowing 140 yards of rushing per game. Jonathan Taylor right now is right at the top of my list. There's one other guy we'll get to, and I already talked about Sanders. So, it's Sanders, but we'll get to them in a minute. Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt, they're both in play against Washington. I don't really have a lean at this point early in the week. Austin Eckler against Carolina. So this is where you're going to have to make a decision. Are you buying that Austin Eckler is going to see enough touches, or is it going to be Josh Kelly time, or do you feel comfortable on both sides? I might I'm going to tell you, it might be interesting this week where Chubb and Hunt had that big Thursday night football game against the Bengals. Well, this could be a game where Kelly and Eckler both have a big game. So that might keep that in your mind if you're playing in a GPP there. Let's start with Kelly, though. He's cheaper. 23 carries, 2.8 yards per carry, 18.5 touches per game, though. So he's getting more touches than Nick Chubb. He's getting more touches than Dalvin Cook, Chris Carson. I mean, this guy's getting a lot of touches. But Eckler, 4 for 4 on targets and catches. Love this guy. 16 carries, 93 yards against Kansas City. He's the best running back week 2, according to Pro Football Focus. I think they're both in play. Obviously, Eckler is going to cost a lot more. 6.8 on DraftKings. God, I love that price. And 7.5 on FanDuel. Kelly too, though. He's 5K and 5.9 on FanDuel, 5K on DraftKings. He's got to be in play too. But let's move on to James Conner, because Conner just went bananas. My goodness, where did Benny Snell go? James Conner, 6.7 on DK, 7.1 on FanDuel, which really doesn't make sense. I kind of like him at 6.7 there. He's taking on a Houston team that's beatable. They're giving up 198 rush yards per game. It's 31st in the NFL. Only Detroit is worse. I mean, this is just bad and ugly. So I'm fine with James Conner. Benny Snell struggled. 16 carries, 106 yards, a couple catches, a touchdown for Conner. He's fine. I think he is definitely in the cash mix, although he's not going to be in my top 3 right now. Chris Carson, 45% snaps week 1, up to 63% week 2. He is 6.6 on DraftKings. That is pretty affordable. 7.7 on FanDuel. Don't like him as much there. Listen, no fumbles yet. Targeted 9 times, 9 catches. I like him. Again, in the mix, a little bit farther down in cash on DK, but he's available. I don't even need to really go into Miles Sanders too much. First of all, the price is right. The price is right, biatch. Sorry, I think this was a kid's show. Anyways, who was that? Was that Bob Barker with a little Chris Tucker thrown in there? I think that's what I just did there. Sorry. Sanders played 77% of the snaps. He is in a smash spot. He is just 6.4K on DraftKings. He's a lock and load. He's 7.4 on FanDuel, and he's taking on the Cincinnati Bengals. Forget about it, man. I like me some Miles Sanders this week. I think the floor is there. There's even a ceiling. He was very involved last week. Kenyon Drake, he wants you to drop him from your team if you're disappointed with his production. Therefore, I'm just writing him off this week. Actually, I'm not. I just haven't been impressed to this point. He is on the GPP radar for me. Joe Mixon against Philadelphia. Listen, he's been off to a slow start. Do you think that Joe Mixon is going to get more work in the running game, or are they going to fall down early? That's what you have to ask yourself. You think that they're going to be in it? Well, 12.6 DK points, 7.1 FanDuel points, because he's just not getting the volume. He's got 4 targets in his last game. That was nice to see, but it's still not enough. A couple other guys I want to talk about. The Rams running backs. Are you going to fade them against Buffalo? Darrell Henderson, fine. The Rams have a great blocking offensive line. I think if Brown and Akers are both out, he's obviously the number 1. If Brown is extremely limited and Akers is out, he's still going to be in the mix there. Fournette had a monstrous game against Carolina. I'm not all there. 19 touches, 2 touchdowns, but now he's going against Denver. That's not going to happen this week in all likelihood. And then there's the bottom of the barrel, right? Some people are going to be throwing in some garbage like Deion Lewis or Wayne Gallman. And maybe the Giants even signed Devontae Freeman. Mike Davis, Carolina. Okay, 8 catches, 74 yards. Guy can't run if you want to punt there. Somebody's going to be playing these guys in their lineups, okay? Is he viable? Is Mike Davis viable on DK at 5.1? I suppose. Not FanDuel, but again, this is just a guy that I could see getting a 0, and I don't want to put that in there against the Chargers. I don't want to take the chance of having a 0. They are going to be playing from behind. So what are we talking about? Is he going to have 8 catches for 74 yards? If he does, fine, it pays off, but I'm not buying it again this week. All right, make sure you check out our stuff, runpuresports.com, runpurebets.com. Give me a like. I forgot to say this during the quarterback one. If you see any of these, just give it a like. Like, subscribe to the Run Pure Sports YouTube channel. I'm Holden. Make sure you're on the lookout for my QB, wide receiver, and later in the week, tight end picks.